I'm mad. The college system is pretty broken. It's no longer about the merit of the student, it's about the performance of the applicant. The ideas have been twisted and ruined by years of finances, sort of like this. I won $50,000 writing scholarship essays that didn't actually happen to me. When I became fluent at the Guinea Portuguese, my captors agreed to release me. It was at 16 that I realized I had created the dating app that my parents used to eventually conceive me. Just as the church and state shouldn't intercede, we somehow have let finances and education become this devilish pair. College is the epitome of it, but the sad truth is that science-based degrees help moderately to increase the starting salary of your first job. So here we are. Let's do this thing. I'm Roman Vi, and this is To Choose College. Episode 3, The Common App Essay. Well, here it is. Probably the most daunting and scary task of college admissions. It doesn't have to be. In fact, there are a few simple things to follow that can make your Common App the best and strongest part of your application. All these rules are extremely important and well-researched. Step 1, consider that the Common App is not the only option. There's an up-and-coming coalition application that allows you to submit an art portfolio in lieu of an essay. This only works for some colleges and with some students, so make sure the college that you're applying to accepts the coalition application. The Common App is a story. Whereas Letter of Recommendation, episode 1, brags about your accomplishments, the Common App is a simple 650-word tale of something you're proud of. You have one. This is the story that you've probably told all of your friends so long that it has its own punchline and story arc. As you think of the topic you want to present in your essay, here are some things to consider. Do write descriptively. You are telling a story, and the goal of your story is to simply make the reader want to finish it. Remember, these are tired admissions officers. Think of the last time you had to read any essay. The goal of your essay should be to make it interesting enough that the person wants to get to the end. That's the sad truth. And here's an even more sad truth. They're not really even reading to hear about you. They want to see if you can write well. So if you give them a well-planned essay that actually has something even a little bit interesting, you have just separated yourself from so many people. Most people will write about sports injuries. We don't care about them. Don't write about the transformative cultural backpacking trip that was so physically tiring for you. These essays are so common that they're immediately read only for the writing skills. So why would you want your writing to be scrutinized even more? Keep things concise. A good outline is to present a story, describe feeling in detail, give background, and then review. Remember, it's only 650 words. This web show is way past the 600 mark, and you've been watching for maybe 2 minutes. So let's go through the process. Step 1, present a story. This is not your most impressive skill or trait. We want an obstacle that was genuinely hard and how you overcame that obstacle. Think of something that was really hard for you to do. Think more into the idea of a mental, social, or learning curve challenge. Physical challenges like sickness are valid, and so valid that they don't belong in the Common App essay. Instead, a separate section of the Common App is dedicated to explaining a drop in grades or challenges in the classroom. The section is called Additional Information, and it's an essay box just like the rest, except just in a later section of the Common Application near the grade reporting. Here's a tip that's simply a suggestion. Sometimes sad stories don't have the best audience when they're within the context of the Common Application essay. Even though the application is personal, it's also professional, and it adds merit to your education and your scholarship. That's why a story that can feel too personal, or one that you wouldn't even tell an acquaintance, does not belong in the Common App. Remember the goal: to show your writing style and present something interesting. Making an admission officer cry isn't the impact this essay needs, and this is also a sensitive subject and completely subjective. I only ask you to consider this idea before you draft. Now take a chill pill, because after you finish one Common App, you'll never have to write another one again. You'll have to do other adult things, but for that, there's Operation Adulting. They're a team of recent grads who've put together resources on financial literacy, civil discourse, and created a community of like-minded people to adult together. You can find more about their mission and join them at operationadulting.org. Step 2, describe feelings in detail. This is where the writing skills come in. Describing how you felt, or what the body reports to you, from my favorite podcast, Getting In, is a powerful asset in the Common App essay. It's also a wink in the way of the admissions officer, as if to say, I know what I'm doing and I know the game, because descriptive body reporting is the key, secret, and easiest way to falter writing style, but also show that you're a competent writing applicant. 3, give background stories. Stories are nice, but you can always sneak a way to brag about yourself within the context of a story. To do this, talk about where you were in your academic career, where you were led after the story took place, and then how your accomplishments may be linked to the core story. Make the story the core of the essay, but the small brags can always poke out if they're stylistic and clever. Just make sure that these brags are genuine and relevant, or the admissions officer is going to think your mom wrote the essay, which happens more than often. Step 4, review. Review. This is only 650 words. If there is an error, you're done. If there is a typo, you're screwed in so little words. And only a chunk of writing that the colleges use to judge you, just make it perfect. Make it perfect. It doesn't have to be all on you. The more eyes you have on it, the less likely mistakes are to happen. Have an English teacher review it. Have alumni, family members, fellow students to review it. Hell, ask a professor at the college you're applying to review it, and then chalk up the correspondence to demonstrated interest. Boom, high five. You got this. Stay tuned after the show to hear tips from the CEO of a college admissions app and a sneak peek of our exclusive patron podcast. Next time, we're talking about how to narrow down that list. This is our third video in the To Choose a College series, so if you haven't had the chance to already check out our first 2 episodes, view them here. I have spent a lot of time creating an exclusive podcast for our patrons at patreon.com/tocooseacollege. This episode, we have students reading their real Common App essays and interviews from other people. To hear it, head over to our Patreon page, look at the starter pack. It includes worksheets, a complete show transcript, and exclusive video material. Next time, we're discussing the criteria to use when picking a college. People really hate the Common App essay. There's a company called Zeemee that I love right now. I actually got the chance to talk with the representative from Zeemee during quarantine, and here is what she had to say about what's happening now. As far as when students usually onboard onto Zeemee would be after a college visit, but have you found that, say I'm a student in quarantine who then hops onto Zeemee, does the college that I'm applying to know, oh, they're demonstrating interest in us, even though they're not here to onboard after being on campus, which in and of itself is, demonstrated interest in this college? My Common application, I remember drafting almost 25 times. I organized some friends and they read their actual Common App